So today we're going to have a look at stem and leaf plots, how to read them off, and also find the range, mode, mean, and median from them. So we'll start off with what does a stem and leaf plot look like. So from our stem and leaf plot, we have our stem, and we can see the digits 2, 3, 4, 5, and our leaves 5, 8, 1, 2, 2, etc. You'll notice our first leaves here line up and our second ones line up. So they almost look like a column graph on their sides. Down the bottom usually is an idea of how to read them off. So 4 in our stem and a 3 in our leaf means 43. Just be careful because sometimes they could be a little bit different. Sometimes 4 in our line between our stem and leaf, then a 3 could actually mean 4.3. So it's an idea that you really make sure you read this off just to double check. So in most situations, these are our tens, so 20, 30, 40, 50, and our leaves are our digits. So that's how we read them off. So let's have a look at how we can now go and find the range. So remember, the range is our highest score minus the lowest score. Our highest score is our last leaf here. It is not 6, it is 56. So we need to make sure we read our stem, then our leaf. So 56 is our highest score. Our lowest score should be 25. So our lowest score is 25. And to find our range, it's the difference between them, the highest score minus our lowest score. And then we go and work that out. 56 minus 25, and we get 31. So that's how we find the range from a stem and leaf plot. So let's have a look at now how we find the mode. Remembering mode is the score that occurs the most. So remember, that's the score of 25, 28, 31, 32, 32, 32. So you're getting a bit of a hint there. So we can see we've got a repetitive leaves of the 3 and 3 there, which means 43 happens twice. But we've already seen our hint before. We've got our repetition of our 2's there. So 32, 32, 32. So our mode is 32. That's the score that occurs the most. Now let's look at how we find the mean from a stem and leaf plot. Remember, the mean is the total of all the scores divided by the number of scores. So just remember that's a score of 25, 28, 31, 32, etc. So we have to add up all of those scores, and we do that, add them all up, and then divide by how many scores. And to work out how many scores there are altogether, count up how many leaves we have. Not the stems, just the leaves. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12. So our number of scores is 12. And now to find the mean, total up all the scores using the fraction template on your calculator, and we get 37.5. If you decide to find the mean without using the fraction template, make sure you put brackets around the adding part, otherwise you will not total up all the scores first before dividing by 12. So it's important that if you're not using the fraction template in your calculator, you put these in brackets so it totals them up first before dividing by 12. And that's how we find the mean. So let's have a look at now finding the median of a set of scores. So remember, the median is the middle score. Median, middle. Now, you should already recognize that the data is already placed in ascending order. Here's our smallest, and they're getting larger as we move along. That makes it easier. So remember, when they're placed in order, cross off the smallest and largest, and we keep doing so until we find the middle score. Now there were 12 leaves, remember, so they should have 2 middle scores, so we keep crossing off the smallest and largest, being careful that we do so. We now end up with our 2 scores left in the middle, the 2 and the 6. Remember, it is not a score of 2 and a score of 6, it is 32 and 36. So just be careful. So because there's 2 middle scores, we now find the middle of them. So add them up, divide by 2. You do that on your calculator using the fraction template, and we get a median of 34. So that's how we find the range, mode, mean, and median from Stedman leaf plots.